The vintage collection is finally back. I feel like I can say this with confidence now. As long as Hasbro just keeps releasing figures like this, as long as they're a little more regular in their releases, TVC is finally back. I know we've had new figures already, but they're all Disney movie stuff. I'm pretty sure almost every single one is a Disney movie thing. And I mean, I'm a pretty decent fan of the Disney movies. I prefer the anthologies way more than the sequel trilogy. But still, the vintage collection was designed to revamp existing movie stuff, primarily original trilogy stuff, even though I love what TVC does with prequel movie stuff. And they were especially designed to revamp original Kenner characters, like Yak-Face here. Yak-Face has not gotten a new figure in 22 years. So that's something that I need to point out. So we finally have a new Yak-Face. We finally have the version of Star Wars Joe Camel in action figure form after all of these years. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his actual name. It's like, well, I'm actually going to try right now. It's Saelt-Marae? No idea, man. It's a Star Wars name. I don't know how to pronounce Star Wars names sometimes. But I do know Klaatu, because Klaatu Barada Nikto, that whole thing going on. Yeah, we got a new Klaatu figure. After 20 years, we have a new version of this design of the Klaatu Skiff Guard. And I'm happy to say these two figures are absolutely amazing. Star Wars Joe Camel over here has the potential to be one of the best Star Wars action figures of the entire year, and I'm not even joking. I really do like that Hasbro is releasing some new Jabba's Palace guys, as well as re-releasing some older ones they released in TVC and Black Series for the upcoming Sail Barge, because I think like 8,000 people back to that Sail Barge. Myself, I was not one of them because I don't have the space for that, I don't have the interest in it, and I especially did not have the money, so I didn't back the barge. Oh no, a tragedy. But hey, we're getting some new figures, and that's really exciting. So let's start talking about the Klaatu, because I think the Klaatu is really nice, but Yak-Face is definitely the thing that most people are probably here to see, and for very, very good reason. So first, taking a look at the card back, pretty typical Klaatu Skiff card. Really nice picture. I do enjoy that picture they chose. Unfortunately, though, I have to point out, yeah, Hasbro Pulse shipped me a damaged card. Oh no, the tragedy. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. As you can see, I'm an opener, but I do try to make sure the cards, when I cut off the bubble, are in nice condition. I don't just tear it off. I use a hobby knife to cut the bubble off. So I like the cards being in good shape because I keep all of these cards because they don't take up a lot of space. But yeah, a shame it's damaged. Also, all of them came unpunched, direct from Hasbro, so that's a little unfortunate. If you like your TVC cards punched. Anyways, here's the back. The nice Disney logo, just to remind us. And then there's all the rest of the new figures in this wave. The only two I got are Klaatu and Yak-Face, because I already have all the others. Actually, I don't think I got that Leia when she was originally released in Black Series. So I don't know. If I see it in stores, I may actually pick it up. But yeah, there's the Klaatu card. Now let's get that out of the way, because the first time I tried to record this, the focusing was horrible because I had that card behind him. Here's the figure, man. It's really good. It's a really good looking figure. What can I say? The paint is remarkable. It's looking so good. Like I said, man, if TVC keeps up like this, it's back. It is back, baby. Like I said, it's been a good 20 years since we've gotten a Klaatu figure of this design. I mean, we've had various Klaatu species before. One of my favorites being TVC Woof. I love this Woof figure. It's one of my absolute favorites. But as you can see, it's just lacking some paint that this new one actually really has. And some differences, too, I want to point out. Older TVC stuff only has the swivels at the hips, and these new ones all have those new ball, universal hinges, which I know are a little controversial among the Star Wars collector community because it's a little more obvious, hey, he's got joints there. But still, he can move way more, and I appreciate that. Another thing, too, I feel like Hasbro's kind of improved how they do the knee joints. You can see to get a decent knee bend on Woof, they had kind of a cutout in the sculpt. But to get a decent knee bend on Klaatu here, they just have a giant hinge that kind of flows with the sculpt. So that's really nice. So, before I get on to more detail and articulation on him, let's show off that old 20-year-old, actually it's a year younger than me, but there's the old Klaatu. Oh, man. Oh, how far we've come. How far we've come. Old 6 POA, Power of the Force, Power of the Jedi era figure. I don't remember which line it came from. But yeah, man. Look at that. Actually, funny enough, I typically keep like unique Star Wars figures, like even if they're really old like this, on display. But he was actually in storage, which is really odd. So unfortunately, he's going back in storage because now this is a thing that exists. But yeah, man, look at that difference. It is astonishing, the difference. They actually had a decent paint job on the little skirt there. But this new one is, of course, superior. I mean, it should be. There's a 20-year difference between them. So let's get that out of the way. And let's talk about the detail and articulation on good old Klaatu here. So first up, we have, I guess we'll talk about the sculpt first. Look at that, man. The sculpt and paint on this is just remarkable. Just giving you a good look at it. It's there, dude. It's there and it's nice. And it's impressive. And I appreciate it. Hasbro, keep up with this, please. And also, Hasbro, make sure people can find these in stores, because that's another one of your problems. The weapon's really nice. I can never remember if I have these upside down or not. I can never remember. But yeah, look at the paint on that. Even that's really nice looking. So, let's get on to articulation. He has those new double ball pegs at the head, so it's not just a single ball anymore. So you have really nice range. It just feels way more fluid and nice. Look at that. That is just pleasant to do. Standard shoulders. Really nice elbows. They actually go about 90, maybe a little over. He has the hinges and swivels at the wrists there. He has kind of a little ball joint at the waist. Gets you what you really need. The hips, though, they work very nice. So they move forward pretty much all the way. And because of this, they can also move out to the side. You have a thigh swivel. And then you have a knee swivel that kind of defeats the purpose. But hey, look at that knee bend. That is a really nice deep knee bend. And then the ankles. Unfortunately, I wish they would start doing the rocker ankles for TVC. That's one of the few things I think they should start doing. But still, standard ankle movement gets the job done. And hey, I respect it. One thing I like about these new TVC figures, I feel like the joints are a little more solid, maybe. Like it just feels like a good, solid figure. Kind of like a mini Marvel Legend. It doesn't feel like a Marvel Universe figure where it's just going to fall apart in my hands. So yeah, dude, I think the articulation on this is really nice. This is one of the nicest TVC figures I think they've ever done. But then Yak-Face comes along and somehow blows it out of the water. Yak-Face's card back is equally as cool. You have the classic picture of the Joe Camel Star Wars. That's what I'm going to call him. He is Star Wars Joe Camel. What can I say? Remember when cigarettes had mascots? That's crazy. Anyways, Return of the Jedi. The card back condition on this one is pretty nice, thankfully, because it's Yak-Face. You better not ruin my Yak-Face card back. Then pretty much the same on the back, no real issue there. So, let's start talking about what could be the best Star Wars action figure released in 2019. I'm not sure what can beat it, man, because this thing is absolutely remarkable. This is a revelation of action figure making. It is the pinnacle of what Hasbro has done or can do. I feel like I can get this guy in poses I would never expect Yak-Face to be in. And just to get people to kind of leave me alone, I had Klaatu holding it one way and Yak-Face another, so at least I was wrong with only one of them. But anyways, yeah, look at this. Look at the detail. Look at the detail on this. I mean, this is a 3 3/4 inch Star Wars action figure, and this is the detail that we're getting. This is amazing. Lifting up the skirt just so you can see the back is even fully detailed as well. They did not skip out. And this cloth really reminds me of the original Kenner Royal Guard. So I appreciate that. Oh, dude, this is amazing. Wait until you see it next to the old one. As much as Yak's Pub really made me want the original Kenner Yak-Face, I do not own it. However, I have the Power of the Force Yak-Face. Yeah. 22 years old of that figure. Yeah, you can see the difference. This is what 22 years of action figure engineering has done to Yak-Face. And honestly, holy cow. Look at this, man. Look at the sculpt difference. Look at the paint, the detail, everything. This guy, even back in the day, was just ugly. Before this thing was even a sparkle in Hasbro's eye, and I owned this, I knew this figure was awful. I just never liked it. The paint is just really weird. The colors are just kind of off to me. They're way too colorful. Just for what I feel like should be a Jabba's Palace patron. And like I said, the design is just, they got it wrong, man. They just didn't do it right. And then over here you have the TVC one, and he's he's looking basically just as Joe Camelish as Yak-Face should, and I'm very happy about that. Wow. Wow. Did I mention this guy's really tall too? Here it is next to Klaatu. He's really tall. I mean, they're the same line, same price and everything. I'm just impressed with the size. I'm happy they got that right. Guys, I'm not even lying. This may actually be the most articulated Hasbro Star Wars 3 3/4 inch figure made to date. I'm not even joking. Let's start off with the head. So the head can move up this much because it has double ball pegs on both the base of the neck and the upper part of the neck. The head can't move down as much just because of his giant head, but you can tilt the head side to side this much, and of course you can rotate it. You can just kind of like, does anyone got a cigarette I could borrow? Yeah, the Joe Camel jokes are not going to end, by the way. So yeah, we've established that the head articulation is amazing. Shoulders, then, are your standard Star Wars shoulders. They're not really going to do anything more, because what else are they going to do? Elbow joints, then, believe it or not, actually go substantially more than 90 degrees. Isn't that a treat? And also you have up and down hinge at this hand, and you have an in and out hinge at this hand. One thing I could suggest to maybe make it a little more articulated is if there was a cut joint right there so you could actually rotate the wrist and get the hinge any way you want. And of course you have a swivel there too. The waist, you have a nice ball joint there. I mean, it doesn't give you too much, but it gives you more than a lot of other Star Wars figures do. Then we move on to the hips, aka the most articulated hips in Star Wars figure history in 3 3/4 inch. They move forward all of the way. They move backward pretty much as you need them to. And of course they move all out and everything. You have a thigh swivel. You have a knee bend that bends in this much, more than some stormtroopers, I might add. And then you have pretty decent ankle joint. Let me demonstrate one of the poses I got this guy in, because it is just insane. You can get him kneeling, okay? You can get Yak-Face, freaking Yak-Face, kneeling. Look at this. Look at this. This is what they did to Yak-Face. They made Yak-Face one of the most articulated Star Wars figures of all time. Here, let me see if I can get Klaatu in an equally as natural kneeling pose. I don't think I can, man. I think the hip joints just don't do it enough. No, look, they don't. They don't do it enough. So I'm trying to get Klaatu in an equal pose, and it's just not working out. This is kind of what you have to deal with. I mean, you can kind of fake it, but it's just not as... It's not like this, dude. This is crazy. This figure is perhaps the best thing out of TVC ever. The hype is real for Yak-Face. I don't know how they made a guy, you blink and you miss it in the movies, one of the best Star Wars action figures ever produced. But they did. This is the world we're living in. And with that being said, I think I just need to shut up, and you need to go out and you need to buy at least Yak-Face. If you're not too big into the Jabba's Skiff Guard guys, if you don't really feel like you need Klaatu, you know what? You don't really need him. Because at the end of the day, he's just, Klaatu. But this Yak-Face is a revelation. I hope that Yak's Pub gets a hold of this. They probably already have. They better already have. And Yak's Pub goes and just makes the coolest stuff ever. Make ACBA with Yak-Face for all I care. Yak-Face is just... He is the new meme. There's already a whole website just dedicated to Yak-Face. So there better be, Yak-Face a Star Wars story. Because he deserves it at this point. We need a 6-inch figure of this. We need a Hot Toys Yak-Face. I need... has there been, a 501st approved costume of Yak-Face yet? Because there needs to be. Yak-Face is the dude. He is the new main man of Star Wars, and this action figure demonstrates this perfectly. Anyways, I didn't shut up like I said I was going to, didn't I? Okay, I'm just going to end the video. Have a good day, guys. Force be with you. Comment, like, subscribe. Post office box link down below. Go buy yourself a Yak-Face. Just do it, dude. Even if you don't collect Star Wars, just get Yak-Face. Get this. This is awesome. This is amazing. Just buy it. Okay, bye.